All right, as you can see, I am away today. However, schedule is still going to be the same for review day. We are going to practice systems of linear inequalities. You will quiz. You will grade that quiz, and I'll be able to have the results for you tomorrow at some point, and you can come in and grab that quiz. Remember, we have a test next class. So, with any test, make sure you redo your quizzes, look at the answer keys online, do extra practice problems from the notes, redo your notes, rewatch lessons, practice, practice, practice. Obviously, definitely with those 3x3 systems that are sometimes tricky. Okay, but today we are just going to graph a couple systems of linear inequalities. Two things we have to do for our quiz today. One is just graph, and the other one is write the equations. So we have 4 problems to do. So I'm going to start out by looking at this one. Now, what's very important about graphing when we're graphing multiple equations is the intersections between them. You know, if we have 2 lines, where do they intersect? Well, here we're going to have 3 lines. We're going to have x is greater than 0, y is greater than -4, and this -2x plus 6, -2/3 x plus 6. Well, first we can understand that these 2 points, these 2 lines at x equals 0 and y equals -4 intersect at 0, -4. So that's one intersecting point that's easy. But before we even sketch things, it's probably best to find the intersection between the y is less than -2/3 x plus 6 and the other 2 equations. And remember, to find the intersections, we set the equations equal to each other. So for y is greater than -4 and y is less than -2/3 x plus 6, I'll set -4 equal to -2/3 x plus 6. And then I'll solve. Subtract 6, -10. -2/3 x is equal to -10. Can multiply by 3. Divide by 2. And get x is positive 15. So all the way over here at 15, this line will intersect with y is greater than -4. So I'll have 15, -4 as my intersection. Okay? And then the other intersection is with x is equal to 0. Now in this situation, I'm not going to set -2/3 x plus 6 equal to 0. Okay, discuss with your neighbors why you're not setting 0 equal to -2/3 x plus 6 in this situation. I'm looking at these 2 inequalities. Hopefully we are saying something and not just staying quiet. Hopefully we are talking about how this is an x-coordinate. Now x coordinates will go into that, giving me a y-coordinate for the x of 0. And we can see that's going to be at our y-intercept 6. So 0, 6. It's right there. Okay, so I have x. I have a dotted line because it's just greater than. I have the y dotted line, and I'll have a dotted line connecting these 2 points where we intersect. Okay, next part is shading. So remember, y's are greater than. Where are y's greater than? Up here. So I'm going to shade above for the y is greater than. If I then look at x is greater than, well, where x is bigger, that's over there. So I'm going to shade to the right of this guy, the second guy. And then the third guy, it's less than, y's are less than over here, giving me this shading. Now what we want to focus on is where are all 3 of the regions shaded. And we should be able to tell, and we don't have to do this like I did. You can kind of just do this in your head or just do a little bit of shading. But we can tell that where all 3 of them overlap is this region right here. That means the points in here, I don't know, pick a point, 1, 0, would satisfy every single one of these inequalities. And this is what we're talking about with the system of inequalities. Okay, you guys, try this guy. We got 3 lines, all y less than, y greater than. And let's go ahead and try to sketch this region. Now, the important thing, again, is to find the intersections. So your sub is going to pause the video right now so that you can work on this. And I'm going to just keep doing the problem. So once you guys are done, the sub will press play, and then we'll look at my work. All right, so let's find the intersections. I can list these as A, B, and C. I'm going to find the intersections between A and B. So I have 4 equal to 1/2 x. Well, that's when x is 8. So I'm going to have one intersection at 8, 4 between the two. We'll call this 8. We'll call this 4. Next, between, let's do just A and C. I got 4 is equal to negative x minus 6. I can add 6. I get 10. I get x is equal to negative 10. So negative 10, 4 is another intersection. Okay. Let's look at B and C. So this is the point that B and C share. I'll have 1/2 x equal to negative x minus 6. Add an x, I get 3/2 x. That's 2/2 plus 1/2. Just to show you that entire step. Add an x. This is the same as 2 over 2x. So I get 3 over 2x equals negative 6. Multiply by 2, divide by 3. Multiply by 2/3. Get negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. So that would be negative 4. Now when x is negative 4, what is the y? The y would be negative 2. In this situation, I have to plug in the negative 4 into either of these to get that y is negative 2. Okay, so at negative 4, we'll call it here, and negative 2, maybe here. Okay, now I can start sketching my line. So I have y is less than or equal to 4. So that's a solid line passing through 4. Great. Now my other 2 lines will intersect here and here, or will be the line between here and here, and the line between here and here. Okay, so the negative x minus 6 intersects at negative 10, 4, and negative 4, negative 2. So this is the negative x minus 6. Notice it's a solid line. And the other one is 1/2 x. So 1/2 x, B, intersects at 8, 4, and negative 4, negative 2. So negative 4, negative 2, 8, 4. So it goes through 0, 0 as well. Okay, so that's 1/2 x. Then we can start looking at the shading. So we have y is less than. So that's going to be down here. So I have underneath. Y is greater than the 1/2 x. So that's going to be above. Y is greater than or equal to negative x minus 6. So that's going to be above as well. Where are all of the 3 of them shaded? Is in this triangle that's created. Okay, finding the intersections helps us sketch the graph, and then helps us find the exact region. Now, it's important to realize that it's points in the region that are solutions. It's points in this region that satisfy all 3 of the inequalities, including points on the line would also work. Points on these lines as well. All right, to our next type of problem. If I'm giving you a graph, can you write the equations? Some things that will help us is to understand that x equals a number is our vertical lines. Y equals our number is our horizontal lines. And then for this situation, using the point-slope form of an equation will also help. Okay? I'd like you guys to try to figure this out. Notice that we all have solid lines, so it's going to be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. What you're going to do is find the equations of the lines first. Once you find the equations of the lines, then look at how you can change those to the inequalities. All right, I'll pause. You guys go. This one should be easy. This one should be easy. It's the red one that might need some work. Now for this third one, I'm not even going to solve for y. I'm not going to distribute. I don't want to deal with fractions. If you don't want to deal with fractions, don't. This is the equation of the line. You can either leave it like this or just add the 2 to the right side. So we got an x with a 1. We got a y with the 2. And then we have a y with negative 5 halves, x minus 3 plus 2. Next thing I have to worry about is my inequality symbols. So like, am I shading to the right or to the left of 1? It's to the right, where my x's are larger. So I'm going to be greater than or equal to. With 2, how am I shading? Above or below 2? It's going to be above. So I have a greater than or equal to. With the negative 5 halves x minus 3 plus 2, how am I shading? Well, it's underneath where the y's are less. So it's going to be less than or equal to. This, my friends, is the system of inequalities that would give us that graph. Okay? You guys try the next one. I'll show you the answers, then we'll take the quiz. Ready, set, go. We can pause the video and then play it to have me work through it. All right, again, we have solid lines. It's important to realize that we have solid lines. So it's going to be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This line is y equals 5. It looks like I'm shading underneath, so I immediately can go y is less than or equal to 5. That's 1. The next one is x equals 2, but I see I'm shading to the right. So it's x is greater than or equal to 2. Now I just need the equations of these two lines. I can find the slope using rise over run. I go down 2 over 2, so that's the slope negative 2 over 2, which is a slope of negative 1. So I'll have y minus 1 is equal to negative 1 x minus 2. This is easy enough to solve for. Y equals negative x plus 2 plus 1, so that'd be plus 3. If you wanted to leave it like this or transform it into y equals negative 1 x minus 2 plus 1, that's totally fine. But easy enough to get this plus 3. I can see for this one that we are shading above. So I'm going to do y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 3. The last one, let's see what my slope is. I'm going up a total of 6. I'm going to the right a total of 3. So that's a slope of 2. That's for this equation. Using the point, say 7, 5, I'd have y minus 5 is equal to 2, x minus 7. Again, this one is easy enough to solve for y. It's 2x minus 14 plus 5 is minus 9. If we need to see that work, here's the work. Distribute 2x minus 14, then add the 5 to both sides. Okay, so it's y is equal to 2x minus 9, but I notice that my shading, where is my shading? My shading is above that. So this is also a y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 9. Here's my system of linear inequalities that creates that graph. Okay, that's all you're going to have on your quiz today. There's just 3 problems. 1 is sketching, and 2 are writing the equations given graphs. So should not be hard. Once everybody is done, well, when you're done, turn it into your box like normal. Once everybody is done, the sub will repass out the quizzes, post the key, and you guys will grade your quizzes. And I will have those grades entered tomorrow, but I'd like you to see the answers so that you can see how well you did based on what you remember from what you put down today. Make sure you study for your test. It is the last test of the 9 weeks, so it is a very, very important grade. Email me if you have any questions. I will be back tomorrow. Thank you.